Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Okay, I am here to make 3 very simple books out of these very sturdy paper bags. I have had these paper bags sitting in my drawer for a very long time. They're quite thick and I wasn't quite sure what to do with them. So I have designed a little book that I can make out of them easily because they are so sturdy. I have all these pages because I have had to clean out my filing cabinet due to a lot of batch dyeing and coffee dyeing that I've done this summer. So I have pulled out a bunch of old jelly prints and bits and pieces, and we are just making some what would normally probably be a desk book but is now a filing cabinet book. So we're going to start this process by taking this paper bag and cutting down the side seam to the fold there. So we'll get both of those done and move on to the next bit. Now both of those are cut, we're going to ignore the fact we've made cuts and fold up the paper bag the way it was to begin with. And as you can see, it's now nice and flat the way it came from the store. Now it's folded across the base. So we're just going to take the piece that is not folded across the base on its side over to the other side, and as you can see now the base is in the middle and the two sides are folded out, one to each side. Sometimes you get this sort of lump here, so I'm just going to squash that down, snip it a bit, and make sure that we get rid of these handles and all the accoutrements that go with them. Then we're going to cover up the middle of this sort of folded section with either a piece of brown paper or whatever I lay my hands on to use. I decided to use this piece of printed on one side coffee dyed office paper that was just lying around, and I am just going to use it to cover this midsection so we cover up all the joins there. Just makes it a bit sturdier and stops us having any sort of daggy bits hanging around in the middle. Now that's done, we're going to take the sides that are just here and we're going to fold in the very edges. I'm doing this because these are basically going to turn into pockets, and I just want to make the edges of them quite sturdy so that you can pop things in and out of them. So we're going to do that on both sides. Just fold in the very ends. Not a lot, just enough. I'm going to sew these. I just find it easy. This is very sturdy paper. It's going to be quite problematic to glue it. You would have to clamp it, but I'm just going to take it away and sew it so it's nice and flat and secure. Now, as you can see, that's our base of the bag at the bottom there. We're going to take our two sides that we just sewed and we're going to fold them up again. And we're going to fold them up so that the fold rests on top of the base. So it's exactly as wide on the top as it is on the bottom. Now I want to secure these down. I cannot run this through my sewing machine because it is too thick. This is a very thick paper bag to start with, and as you can see there's quite a lot of folds, quite a lot of thickness to it. So it is just too much for my sewing machine. Trust me, I tried. So I am going to sew it, but I'm going to hand sew it, and to do that I am just going to run a quick pencil line down the side here. And then I'm going to poke holes all the way down the side on both sides, and I'm going to sew it with just a needle and thread. So I'm going to take my my hole punchy business here, the one that I use to put holes in my signatures. I guess it's like an awl, but it's not really an awl. And I'm just going to punch holes in it, sort of. I'm not being too precise. We've got a line, I'm going to follow the line, and I'm going to try and sort of distance them apart from each other equally, but you know, I'm not married to the idea of it having to be perfect. So we are going to use a bit of embroidery thread to do this. I have sewn one of these already and I used a piece of wool and that worked out quite nicely. but I have decided I want to use embroidery thread for this one, so we'll give it a go. Probably 3 lengths of this embroidery thread would have been a better choice to sew this. I actually ran out before I reached the end. I just tie it off and get a new piece. It doesn't bother me, but if you were concerned about that, yeah, you probably want more than 2 lengths. So I'm also struggling a bit here because unfortunately I have broken my tapestry needle, and as you would know if you make journals, having a blunt needle is kind of important when you're sewing through paper. And you know, you've got pre-punched holes. Having a pointy needle makes things that much more difficult. But I'm having to use just a big darning needle that is sharp until I get some new tapestry needles. So yeah, I will make this work with this pointy needle, but I'm not enjoying it a great deal, I've got to say. Please excuse that ridiculous noise in the background. It's my crazy dog. Yeah, he does not want to do voiceovers right now. And there we go, that's both sides sewn, and we have a little book cover now. Now what we're going to do is fold this in half and pop these pages in, and luckily these paper bags ended up being exactly the right size for most of the papers that we found, so we didn't really have to do much at all. And that is our book. We have now a pocket in the front and back, both at the top and the bottom, and we also have these sections in the top and bottom of the cover if you happen to want to use them. So yeah, super simple. I am going to put 3 signatures in each of these books, just simply by punching holes through the paper bag and sewing straight into it. It's thick enough that I really am not afraid that this is going to pull through at any stage. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm just going to punch some holes. I will punch holes in my signatures and then fight with this very sharp needle to try and get all these sewn in nicely. And I'm going to do this 3 times. And then I'm going to go away and purchase some more tapestry needles because this drove me crazy. I'm just planning on using a little bit of this book page because it's the right height to make a simple template so that I get the holes in my signatures in the right spot to go through the holes in the cover. That's all I'm trying to achieve here. Once I've created all these books, I'm going to tie them shut to sort of train them to sit that way, but I'm just going to set them on my desk, and eventually we'll get around to revisiting them and decorating the covers and all that sort of stuff, and maybe doing some more on the inside of them. But yeah, I was just happy to get rid of things today, to be honest. And had no plan on making these when I started my day up here. So yeah, I don't really have anywhere to go forward with these right at the moment. So they're just going to kind of sit to one side, and you'll see them again another day. Because I was using a sharp needle, I kept on getting snagged up on pages, and I kept on splitting my thread, and this was generally a nightmare to do with a sharp needle. So yeah, if you are new to junk journaling and you're trying to work out why it takes you so long to get a signature sorted out, maybe look at your needle. You want a really, really blunt needle. Tapestry needles are perfect. That's what I always get to do this job, because yeah, doing it with a sharp needle is just a nightmare. Because these are little junky books, I am just using all sorts of oddments of bits and pieces that I find around. So I ran out of the black thread, embroidery thread. I'm now going to use bright pink and bright purple embroidery thread to sew in my other two signatures. And there we go, that's all three of them sewn in, and we have a cute little book. This paper bag is so sturdy. This is quite a hard cover, to be honest. And I'm sure they'll look pretty cute when they're decorated up. Right now they're just scrappy little books with pockets all over the place. So who knows what they'll become. Like I say, I don't have a plan. I am just going to start working on them as I see fit, and we'll see where we end up. Like I say, there will be 3 of these, so you'll see them again sometime soon. All right, thanks guys for spending your time with me today. I appreciate your company as I always do. I'll see you again next time. Bye.